Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Hunter x Hunter episode 134. Alright, this one starts off kind of just like showing us how bad humans are. I mean, we kind of already know that. But it also explains how miniature rose works, or its side effects. And it wasn't just simple radiation like I thought it was, it's actually crazier than that. Alright, so it's like, it, it it causes rapid destruction, not even destruction, but rapid destruction of the organs of whoever the smoke and like the chemicals and stuff hit, whoever inhales them, all right? And that person's body pretty much becomes a poison in and of itself and starts to emit new poison. And they kind of just spread the poison and it's crazy, all right? Like that's it's crazy, right? And these dudes are real messed up, right? Miram, UB, Poof, they're all messed up. And Poof, he's trying to hide his condition from Miram, even though Miram cannot can obviously tell there's something wrong with him because they're connected, you know. Um, but he's like, oh well, and he decides to continue with the challenge to try and find the intruders, and he uses N, all right, and he finds he he we don't actually see him finding Icalgo or Palm. To be honest, he didn't really. The only person he really found, as far as like important, the important people that he found, it was just Welfin. At least that's who was shown. And he goes to Welfin and he questions him, and Welfin says, "No, I did not kill Yubi. He just started coughing up blood, and he just fell and died in excruciating pain." All right, so I was right about that. I'm sure most people got that though. Um, and Poof shows up after Miram does, and Welfin knows he's in trouble because he thinks Poof can read his mind, which he's using that what was it, that spiritual message ability that he was using on Morel a while back, where he doesn't read their minds. It's like he reads their emotions, their emotional state, or like their mental state, their mindset, something like that. It wasn't like legit mind reading where he could figure out what they were thinking. It was just he could figure out the state that they were in, like the mental slash emotional state they were in, right? Um, and by doing that with Welfin, he determines that Welfin is a threat because he's got all this hostility towards him and Miram. I was going to say the king, but I just decided to call Miram instead. Um, and actually, we learned that Miram gained the spiritual message ability as well, except for it's like a Super Saiyan version of the ability. All right, it's just stronger. He can just look at someone now. Excuse me, and as long as his end is hit them, he can just he can use the ability. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like a level. It is a leveled up version of Poof's because he can figure out more than what Poof did, easier, more easily, I should say. So that's pretty. It's pretty legit. All right. And he senses that hostility Wolfen has towards him, and he wants to interrogate him as to like why he feels that way about him. All right, and Poof tries to stop him by telling the truth essentially, and he says, "Well, you know, um, this guy, he doesn't realize it, but he's a part of my secret. He's a part of my plans, and if he talks, he might reveal the secret. And I know that you probably wouldn't want to receive your reward before actually completing the challenge." All right, and Miriam was not very pleased about being one interrupted and two being ordered to do something. Okay, so he got pissed at Poof. All right, um, but he ends up letting him go because of Poof's loyalty. He can just sense Poof's emotional state. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll let you off. But then he turns his attention to Welfin. All right, and this entire time, Welfin's just been freaking out. He's been thinking about all the things responsible for getting him in that situation. He's been thinking about all these things he can try and do to get out of it. He's like, okay, I can try and talk to him, but he'll probably kill me after the first word I say. So I better make sure the first word I say is incredibly good. All right, but after Miram turns his attention to him, dude, this dude Welfin gets the Knov treatment. All right, this dude he looked bad. What they say he looked like 100 years older or something like that. Like he looked bad. Oh man, ooh. Like, and even though he looked older, his brain just like to make a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. His brain went into hyperdrive. All right, going fast makes me feel alive, but his brain works in hyperdrive. All right, like he just started thinking like all this stuff he could say, and then the one word he decides to think of, and the one word he thinks of and decides to say, Komugi. All right, that was clutch. That was clutch because I was so into this episode that I wasn't even thinking of like what is he going to say. I was thinking what is he going to say, what is he going to say, but I was so into the episode that I wasn't actually thinking like of words he could say. So I was just here. I was curious as to what he was saying, but I wasn't thinking of what he could say. I just wanted to hear it from him. So I heard him say Komugi, and I was like, yo, that was so clutch. That was so clutch because it makes sense for him to say that because Poof had him call uh, Pito, and Poof made the made Komugi's voice. He used Komugi's voice over the phone, so so obviously he was trying to keep Pito away by using Komugi. So it makes sense that maybe the secret he has involves Komugi, and he knows Komugi was close to the king as well. So it was clutch. It was a risk because he didn't really know for sure, but it obviously he made the right call there. All right, he says Komugi's name, and then Miram starts to remember everything, and he gets his development back, and he turns into the character he was after he fought Netero. All right, he just doesn't want to hurt the humans anymore. He doesn't even want to hurt Welfin. He doesn't want to hurt Welfin. He doesn't want to hurt Poof. He doesn't want to hurt any of the intruders, including the traitors, aka Calgo and Meliaron. He doesn't want to hurt any of them. So, and even Welfin tells him, the only king I'll ever serve is Gyro, and he's like, hopefully you find him one day. So Miriam, he's just, yeah. The narrator at the end, he said Netero once believed that Miriam was wavering between human and ants, but now, dot dot dot. So he's clearly made his decision. He's no longer wavering. All right, he's has not chosen the side of the ant because if he did, he would be doing what he was doing before he got his memory back. All right, he would have killed Welfin, he would have killed Poof, he would have gone off, killed the intruders after interrogating them. He would have just gone off and just done stuff. All right, but he's chosen the human side now because he's not. Well, he spent all the time talking about how bad human is. Human is. Wow. He spent all this time talking, not all this time, but he spent the beginning of the episode talking about how bad humans are. Then he chooses the human side, and it's actually good instead of him doing what the humans were doing in the beginning of the episode. But not all humans are like that, and humans don't. Even the bad humans who are like that don't act that way all the time. So it makes sense. But yeah, that's it for the episode. I really enjoyed it. I really did. So I'll give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed. No, I'm just kidding. This episode was amazing. It really was, and it deserves a 10. This wasn't even amazing. This was like a special kind of episode. All right, this was a special kind of episode. It deserves more than a 10 out of 10. It deserves an 11 out of 10. All right, like this episode was truly that amazing. It's comparable to episode 116. All right, which was the last time Kahlua and Gon were. Well, it wasn't the last time they were together, but you know what I mean. It was the one where Gon and Kahlua confronted Pito for you know what I mean. All right, that episode was just amazing, and this one was amazing as well. It really was just that good. So yeah, I'll give this one. I don't even know. I guess for official purposes, I'll give it a 10 out of 10, but in reality, it's like an 11 out of 10. All right, that's how good this episode was. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Amazing episode. Definitely a contender for anime episode of the year. Definitely. Um, Along with 116. Hunter x Hunter is going to have a lot of spots on that list because I decided to do a video at the end of the year with my top 10 or so anime episodes of the year, maybe 15. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is going to have a lot of spots. I'm telling you, man. It's going to have a lot of spots on there. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Episode gets a 10 out of 10 / 11 out of 10. And then that's that, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.